get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast.
You know what I mean? So let me ask you guys, you own your own. Yeah. That's unlike most rappers in this game. What motivated you to own your own?
Well, I've been in this game, for a minute. My man Jazz, again, he introduced me to this game. He showed me a lot of different things, and I knew what I didn't want. I knew what I wanted. I wanted full control over my music, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Right.
So you own the publishing rights?
Everything with the 20% distribution fee. We working on that. Try to own as much as yourself as possible, I know times it's hard, cats gotta sell that publishing to eat. You know what I mean? Because them royalty checks take so long to come.
Alright.
But try to own as much of yourself as possible, because it's gonna pay off in the long run when cats are sitting around sampling your voice, and they going platinum, but you ain't feeling it, but the company is getting all that money,
Alright.
So I'm just waiting. I want everybody to just sample us, you know what I mean? I'll keep going platinum. I'll make records while I sleep. You know what I mean?
I don't know why you guys don't listen to Jay. He's been telling us forever. Joe, I wanted us to play this first because it hit home, especially this week, about ownership and pretty much on my past 2.5 week journey of just growth, right? And then something happened in the industry, especially with podcasting, right? That just really triggered me and just said, you know what? Not that I'm thinking about this whole podcasting thing wrong, but fuck the industry, right? Fuck the industry. And I had that going because if anybody doesn't know me, Jay-Z's one of my biggest inspirations as far as when it comes to a mindset, business mindset. Even when I was musically inclined growing up and stuff like that, it was Jay-Z. He is that tier, my dad's here, then it's Jay-Z, right? So my dad, Jay-Z, everybody else falls in line. That's where it goes. Maybe my cousin Ade goes up a little bit before Jay-Z because he's definitely put me on game. But anyways, that's where everybody gets, right? So now I don't know whether I want to go. I'll start with me first, right? So yeah, last week we had, I don't know whether it was last week or the week before, we were kind of we were a little bit late, or technical difficulties, whatever the case may be, whatever, right? And then last week we had a very, very strong start, right? And so after the show, people start messaging and stuff like that. I don't know if this is going to last for you. You got to watch your tone. You got to you got to watch what you're saying. People aren't going to want to listen to you. And then, boom, this shit happens with Joe Budden and Spotify. And I said, you know what? Fuck what anybody has to say because I own my shit. I'll Piss You Off Shortly is mine. So for everybody that's I have to change and worry about, you're not going to get sponsored and you're not going to do this, you're not going to be able to get to a higher platform. So fucking what? I do this for me. If I decide to take 3 weeks off and come back and start another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly, guess what? I can because I own this shit. This is my shit. So the best part about it being my shit is I can say what I want to say on my platform. And no disrespect to Joe, because me and Joe have that relationship and he understands when I say this, it doesn't come from a place of misinterpretation. But if Joe feels that I'll Piss You Off Shortly has kind of went a little bit further than the CMG network is valued at, or not valued at, but can handle, I can still run my shit. I can take my shit and do this somewhere else. So I don't care what you guys have to say. I'm not looking for a platform. I don't care about one of these big brands. And that's why I joined Joe in the CMG network. I was, after that video of the police station in Wethersfield, I got 5 offers. We'll say 5 because I think it was a little bit more than that. Some of them were monetary gain, not a lot. Some of them were like, hey, we'll see where this goes. But I didn't own shit. I didn't own my rights. I didn't own proof of concept. I didn't own shit. I was just another pawn. Some of them would be, oh, you'd be the leading B-roll black guy. You'd be the lead role, but you'll have to go within guidelines. No. And this didn't even come into business. This relationship between me and Joe did not happen on that kind of tip. So for anybody to sit there, go ahead. You want to talk to my boss is me. Or you can talk to my partner. There's a difference. And he'll probably tell you and sit there and say, what did Rob say? Oh, he told you go fuck yourself? Then go fuck yourself. So there's a difference. And if anything, and I'm going to get to this Joe Budden shit in a minute, but I feel like I got to get this shit off my chest for a second, Joe, because a lot of these people think I've like got me fucked up, right? And I put this on my Facebook earlier. If you don't like me, I don't care. Why are you friends with me? Why are you following I'll Piss You Off Shortly? I know why, because I'm entertaining to you. Because what I have to say has some kind of hold to what you think. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, right or wrong, you still come back 8 episodes in. My numbers may not be here. I may not be a Joe Budden. I may not be a Joe Rogan. Fuck, I may not be one of the smaller podcasts. But I have enough effect to take up shit almost 2 hours of your day. And a lot of platforms aren't doing that. So my ownership is owning 2 hours of your time, whether you like me or not. So who's really winning here? I'm small. If I lose 50 followers, I'm not shorting my stock. I know my value. I've seen what I can bring to the table in such a short time. So guess what? I'm going to keep pissing you off shortly, longevity, whatever the game is. I'm going to keep pissing y'all off, whether it's 4, 5, 6 years from now, and we just keep gradually growing. That's better than me selling myself short just to sit there and say I did something on a higher platform. And there's one thing that you guys don't realize, and I thank Joe Budden for making that sacrifice and his podcast and his crew, because he taught the difference of having to make a sacrifice and getting the true number. So with his sacrifice, now we know what podcasts do. It used to be a numbers game. Nobody can understand the numbers game. But because of his sacrifice, I know that if I wait the long game and don't sell myself short, I'll Piss You Off Shortly will take far than any of you guys will ever expect, because it's not just the 10s or 15s of y'all that I have to delete probably every month because I knew I shouldn't have added you anyways. There's way more than y'all out there. And every day, my growth charts, y'all don't see my numbers. And that's the thing. A lot of y'all that have podcasts and everything else, the numbers are growing. I get to see my numbers. And the best part about it is when you have a legitimate partnership with somebody, I trust my numbers to the guy, to the left. I'm good. So that's the good thing about ownership. Own your shit, people. And this is just I'm learning this myself. I used to think, and I think that's the worst part about especially the African-American mentality growing up. Oh, I want to be a rapper. I got to get a major deal. I got to get to the NBA. I got to get a da-da-da-da-da. No. Imagine if a lot of these NBA players were able to have their own team. And when I say that, LeBron, he was able to take his team from Akron, his boys from Akron, and develop him and build him. I don't think LeBron would have had the same net worth or same value that he would if he had everybody else in his pockets. That's loyalty. That's loyalty. And you learn this from same people. Jay-Z, no matter what happened, what broke up with Rockefeller, guess what? It was his team, that loyalty. So I look at it now and I sit there and I look at Joe Budden and their situation with Spotify. Fuck Spotify. Fuck Apple. Fuck Audible. Joe, what was the first thing I texted you before you probably even knew of the situation? I said, I'm taking my shit off. I said, take my shit off Spotify. I'm done. I don't care about the numbers because I own my shit. I don't have to worry about those numbers. I'll piss you off shortly to be so big that Spotify's knocking at Joe's door saying we need him on here because da-da-da-da-da. But guess what? I don't move unless I say so, unless me and Joe feel it's fucking right. I could have went with a bunch of people, but it's that fucking loyalty. And that's what, so everybody, and I keep going back to the Joe Budden podcast, and everybody's probably like, why are you saying their podcast? Because that's who I listen to. Because I learned a lot of my podcast knowledge from that because they're vets in the fucking game. They have brought this podcasting shit to a whole nother level, right? So long story short, Joe Budden signs an exclusive deal 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago with Spotify. And when I say exclusive deal, only primarily on Spotify. That's the only place that you can listen to, unless you wanted to listen to older episodes, which you can still catch on like iTunes and all that other shit, right? So for 2 years, and in the beginning, Joe made it very clear, we're not doing this for the money. We're doing this to figure out what our value is, right? So they signed their deal, don't know the numbers or whatever the case may be, but their first episode, how do I know? Because guess what? At 6 o'clock in the morning, I was one of those consumers ready to tune in when they went exclusively on Spotify and we crashed the server. It took Spotify an hour to get the server right for that release. They did 900% over their projected numbers. First day. So you go through all this stuff, you have your contract deals and number one, month after month after month after month. And when it comes down to you hitting these benchmarks, they say, oh, well, we're going to change it up. You didn't hit these numbers. Well, you have us at music, CD value numbers and streams when these are not equivalent to podcast streams. I'm giving you way beyond, but because they're not hitting these certain numbers that you didn't even bring up in the first place, you're going to short me. I'm making you 9 figures and you're going to short me. Long story short, instead of paying these gentlemen what they've owed, they offered them gifts, false offers of Rolexes, false offers of trips and everything else, but paying this group, right? So in my mind, I'm like, why would anybody want to continuously go to a major or sign these big deals when the power is in ownership of what we have? The proof of concept, right? The proof of ownership, being able to sit there and say, I came up with this idea. I'm the person, I'm the spearhead. So if you don't see my vision, then fuck it. You're just not for me. So that's where I'm at with it. If you just don't like it, I'm not for your platform. And I'm going to stay on the platforms that I am because this is my shit. And I wish that a lot more of us will start understanding the prime ownership. And that's why I enjoy the network I'm on. I don't ask a dime from anybody else, any of my network mates or anything else like that, because I show genuine love and I receive that back. So, and I see the loyalty, I see the commitment, I see the camaraderie. It's not a fucking crab in a barrel mentality. So why wouldn't I want to grow with a network that values me, that knows my worth, that knows the worth of everybody individuals and lets everybody eat in itself, and then we all grow at the same time, and we still all have ownership. It's sick. It's sickening that big names like that would even short somebody like that. And some people might not understand exactly the power that they've actually done, like that Joe Budden has taken away from Spotify, because they have Michelle Obama and Joe Rogan and all this, but now you're starting to see the trickle effect where people are like, we don't need you. So watch. I wish there was a way that I knew how to like just make a platform where it was just like, haha, only way you can get it was here. Wow, for us. And that like take the game, like that's it. You know, like ownership is key in that point. And I'm so proud and I thank you, Joe, for giving me that opportunity to have ownership and have a partnership in this aspect, because I look at a lot of people now, and I look at a lot of podcasts now, and I see that they really don't have that. Even the big names. I'd rather be working 50 hours. And honestly, and when I say ownership, there's nobody outside writing my scripts, giving me ideas, doing this. I do all this shit. I send it to Joe. Joe plugs it in, and this is that part. This is it. So I would rather put 50 hours in and 5 years from now make $250,000 a year doing podcasts off of merch. If COVID ever comes around, do tours and shit like that, because apparently I have a small little New England fan base. Hell, I don't give a damn. I would rather do that than sell myself short for millions of dollars and be dog tired. Look at, for example, you look at all these Spotify kids and all these Spotify rappers and artists and all these upcoming artists. They're selling themselves short in the short game because they just want to be up. They want to be the next up and coming, By the time that they get there and actually make themselves something, they realize that shit, I no longer love this because I'm not doing it for myself. Trust me, this past week for me has been hell, but I get to do this. I could easily say, you know what, this is my shit, whatever, I'm not doing it. I'll see y'all next week. But because I enjoy it and I know the value that my small fan base enjoys of this, people are texting me like, hey, yo, Rob, what's up? Where you at? Da, 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 da. I know my value. So I have something to work for versus someone to work for. I don't know. I guess I'll cool down on the rant right there. But yeah.
Well, I'll say this. We love you at CMG, and we support you in everything that you say. And it's important to me, look, I worked for iHeartMedia for 12 years. I've worked for a corporation in the business, and I certainly have never sought another job with a company, a corporation in the industry. I started my own company, and you know what? For me, Rob, the big thing was ownership for myself and for everyone that joined. And our platform isn't right. I'm not the boss. Well, I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'm the boss that runs this thing. Everybody's individual show is their individually owned product, and I'm giving them the platform and the network to spread their word on. And I support every single person on this podcast. I'm proud to give every single person who's on our network, 26 shows, a voice. We have several black voices on our network, which I'm very proud of, in which I started doing long before this country turned to shit.
Exactly.
So, it makes me feel good. I remember the first time you and I talked, you were very clear you didn't want to be the token black guy, and I told you we don't have that here. Exactly. Every person's a white person, black person, or whatever person, and they represent their own ideas and themselves. And you've done that, I think, exceptionally well. 8 episodes in for a guy who had really no experience at this at all.
No, I'm still learning, still growing.
You talked about your incident earlier in Wallingford. I knew you and your wife and son. I mean, I've known you guys for a while. Always thought very highly of you. Saw you in action and thought, we got to give this guy a voice. We got to get this guy on. And you know what? I've had people say, are you sure that that's right? I've had people take issue with the Clan Hunter. And to that I say, if it makes you uncomfortable, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself why.
I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you for always supporting me. And this is what it's about, and I couldn't be more happier. I'm so glad that this is where I landed. And like I said, we're just not going anywhere. So for everybody that feels like it should, hey, you can keep watching. I appreciate it. That's only just going to keep growing. So matter of fact, go ahead and buy yourself some merch. Go to I'llPissYouOffShortly.com and get you a hoodie or something like that. Get you a His America Crumbled hoodie, because it's crumbling, and we'll get to that shortly. But man, oh man, this week has been, as you guys can see, I'm back in Connecticut. Yay!
Back on marijuana way.
Yes, back on marijuana way. Oh, it feels so good. It's so different. We'll get to that in a little bit. The differences from Connecticut versus Georgia. It's funny.
Where were you specifically in Georgia?
Atlanta.
You were in Atlanta proper.
Yeah, proper Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta.
I spent 10 days in a suburb of Atlanta about 12 years ago, and I can only imagine what you're going to tell us, because 12 years ago I thought it was pretty different.
So Atlanta the last time I was in Atlanta was probably 2015. So it's been a good 5 years, and Atlanta's changed even in the 5 years. It's still packed as hell. Even during COVID, but like it's not as bad, but definitely if you catch it during sometimes, like it's crazy. But gentrification is fucking real out there.
Legendary awful traffic into Atlanta, by the way. I've gotten so DC and Atlanta, hands down. I hear like West Coast, like the Bay Area is horrible. Jacksonville's pretty bad, but DC and Atlanta, hands down, fuck their traffic. Like I'm good. I don't even know, like, and I guess we'll save that for later, but I don't know if I'm ready for that traffic if certain things go through. Spoiler alert for anybody that may be listening. But I don't know if I'm ready for that. I had a boss once who lived in Atlanta, and he lived 1 mile from the radio station in Atlanta, and it used to take him 45 minutes to drive to work.
Oh my God. So yes.
He could see the station from his house, and it took him 40. He said basically everything in Atlanta, all the highways just dump into Atlanta.
So yeah, it all dumps. I want to say it's 85. I want to say it's like 85. Yep. There's one entryway where it's like 285 goes into, like, I believe, and don't get me wrong, I mean, all my new Atlanta listeners, if y'all are watching it or listening later on, like wherever this highway is, it's like it's an 85, 75, 285 dump or something like that. And it's always just dead still. So I'm like trying to maneuver around real quick. And I got hit on it like 3 times. So pissed. 20 minutes for no reason, just trying to get to the next exit. And the difference is, so if I say 20 minutes in Connecticut, that's like New Britain to Hartford. And you're like, damn, okay, I really don't want to drive that far. But a 20-minute drive in Atlanta or one of the suburbs, you've gone a mile and a half. And you're like, holy shit, I feel like I've gone forever. So it feels like a southern mile and a northern mile are 2 different things. Like that's a whole different equation, I think. Like it's crazy. And then it's funny you say like true Atlanta. Because yeah, once you get into the suburbs, oh my God, that's crazy. But yeah, Atlanta, Georgia, I still love it. I still love Georgia. It was still humid. I came back to Connecticut. I was like, oh, Connecticut, you
still got Georgia on your mind, do you?
Georgia's still on my mind. But that kind of got dwindled down when I had the sad news of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman. Anybody that's unfamiliar with who Chadwick Boseman is, I'm not going to lead with what everybody wants to lead with. I'm going to say the legendary actor, philanthropist, activist. He also had amazing roles as Jackie Robinson. He also had amazing roles as, what's the judge? Oh my gosh, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Thurgood Marshall. He also played, he played Black Panther. So yeah, so
say that one, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want to lead with that because that's what, unfortunately,
fair.
like all the conservatives and like all the, I don't want to say white, but like all the Caucasian people that are unculturalized that just know him for that. So I can't blame them. You know what I mean? When like you just follow the trend and you're just like, oh, he's a nice black actor. Oh my God, he's the Black Panther. Well, he's more than a Black Panther, especially to the black culture. I first was introduced to him in Remember the Titans.
Draft Day.
Yes. I'm sorry. Not Remember the Titans. Draft Day. Thanks for
Football
that correction.
Movie.
Football movie, yes.
I knew what you were talking about.
So anyways, so that's when I was introduced. And then when I saw him in Jackie Robinson, I was like amazed. And then realized when he was in Thurgood, like when he played Thurgood Marshall. So yeah, like, and then of course Black Panther giving us a black hero, a true black hero, other than Meteor Man, Robert Townsend, who I still love, and the Black Batman right here on Marijuana Way that my uncle Andre drew for me. Super, super dope. Who I've had. So that's a copy because my aunt won't ever give me my original back. I have to steal that shit back because honestly, like my uncle Dre's work is so phenomenal. She won't give me my original, but yeah. So I've had that copy since I was like 3. But anyways, so yes, rest of that, it hurt. So when I got that news, it really hurt. And then also to find out that it was stage 4 colon cancer, and he had this for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's tough. And to still give us hit after just phenomenal acting roles. And then still I put up a post because somebody had posted it and I had to share it to find out that he was still like doing like Make-A-Wish, and not even Make-A-Wish, just doing his own like cancer foundation and being out there, being an advocate for kids with cancer, and while going through his fight and his journey, like fuck Trump, fuck all these other dudes. Like, that's a real hero. Like, when I look at a leader, somebody that leads from the front and the rear and all around as a family man, he fell in love with the love of his high school sweetheart, did right and felt, you know what I mean, married her, had beautiful children. So it's just like, and he never mentioned it publicly and I'm sure that a lot of people knew about it because especially in the industry, I'm sure Disney and Ryan Coogler kind of had to have an idea because, you know what I mean, with that kind of history, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? But for them to hold him down and understand how much he did not, and from the understanding from his wife expressed and his family expressed, I should say, that he did not want that to be the headline. Like, that takes a lot, you know? And I remember when I saw his photo, he was on the shop. He was on like the shop, and then and I was like, man, he doesn't look too well. And I was like, I hope it's either for a role or something like that. But it's just like, damn. And at 43 years old, it hurt.
I know him from Draft Day.
Okay.
I don't watch superhero movies at all.
Gotcha.
So I haven't seen Black Panther. Obviously, Jackie Robinson, tremendous. I've been on a kick for the last 2 weeks. Late at night, I've been watching SNL bits.
There you go.
And he hosted an episode, I believe, when Black Panther came out.
Yep.
And there is a Black Jeopardy that I got to tell you, there's another one with Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Where he's a Trump supporter, which is brilliant. I saw this one, and I was like, oh, gosh. Again, I didn't know he was Black Panther. I was like, oh, look, it's Jackie Robinson. And so I clicked on the episode, and I got to tell you, if you've never seen Chadwick Boseman hosting SNL, that Black Jeopardy, it will be worth your while. It's about a 4-minute bit, and I promise you, you will be in tears. He was a really great actor and a really talented guy. And I mean, I'm 45, Rob. To see a guy like this and such a great person, the acting aside, you talk about the philanthropy. I mean, this is a guy that was going out there and getting things done and putting his money where his mouth is.
Exactly.
And, we've talked about Colin Kaepernick on this show quite a bit in the past. Anybody who's willing to put their money where their mouth is. LeBron James is somebody who I would put in that category.
Exactly.
I will be a fan of yours. I don't even like LeBron James.
Same.
As far as the NBA is concerned, he's a baby and a flopper. But
yes.
I told you, we'll get into this maybe a little bit later on. I was talking to my brother, who's a Republican, supports BLM. It's a mindset,
Exactly.
I think people have to break out of a mindset. I said, look, LeBron James has been entertaining us since he was 18 years old. Are you telling me that this guy hasn't earned your respect to the point where he's not just some idiot athlete? You don't think this guy's put the work in? And my brother talked about a few years ago, LeBron didn't want to get involved in the politics of the world. And he said, basically, I don't know enough about this to talk about it. To LeBron's credit, he read up, he found out what was going on, he learned all about it, and now he speaks very knowledgeably on topics.
Exactly.
And so, again, I would say to any white person, who's got a favorite black actor or comedian or athlete, someone that you admire for their skills doing whatever it is they do, when these people have that platform and you support them and they ask you, hey, just listen to what I'm saying, like, this is important to me. I was on Sports Talk with R&J earlier today, Rob, and they did a really nice, they had a really great conversation about sports and getting behind BLM. It's it's just a no-brainer. These are, and I think it's important for people to understand when we talk about black athletes, black celebrities. Do you notice the word black is first? These are black men and women before they're what you want them to be. Your favorite baseball, basketball, singer, whatever. They're a black person first, and this is something that's near and dear to their heart. If you're willing to spend $300 to sit courtside to watch LeBron, really? You won't sit there and listen to what LeBron has to say? You just hear the guy out. You can say, look, I don't believe in systemic racism. I don't think you're the guy to talk about it because you're super wealthy. You could disagree with him. But I think these folks have all earned your respect enough that you should at least we got to stop the argument of whether they should or they shouldn't. Like, shut the fuck up already. Just listen for a minute. You want to debate and disagree? Okay. But hear the message first. I think we owe these, again, role models, whatever you want to call them. If these people want to speak and they want to share their mind and you respect them as whatever they are, listen to them as a human being for a hot minute. That's all I'm asking. That's all I've ever asked anybody. Just listen. You can disagree, but let the guy tell you what's up. And so credit to people like Chadwick Boseman, people like Colin Kaepernick, people like LeBron James that want to use their platform to make change. Listen to what they're saying. You posted something that I shared with my brother today about the fact that so many white people are worried about this pro-black movement because every pro-white movement has always been anti-black.
Exactly.
So they assume a pro-black movement must be
anti-white.
And people, that's not how movements work.
No.
We can all step forward together.
Exactly. Together. And all that is to me, pro-black or whatever, like a pro-black movement is getting my people in line. And I just need y'all to hold me by the arms. And guess what? As I'm getting my people in line, you're deflecting those idiots of yours away from it. And we're getting everybody in line together. I don't need, and I think that's where it's getting a lot of things are getting misconstrued at right now, is everybody's trying to be a savior and everybody's trying to be that person instead of working together. Like, I think it's fucked up that we still have in all these cities like Chicago, motherfuckers are still out here shooting each other when we're screaming Black Lives Matter. Yes, I think it's fucked up. I think it's super wrong. I look at myself and a lot of things in the past, and even the people that I had situations with in the past, like, you know what? I don't know if they have an issue with me still. I definitely don't have an issue with them. Like, it's whatever. Like, life is too short. If 2020 hasn't taught anybody anything, this shit's way too short, and shit can flip over way too much to be sitting here and still trying to just fight over humanity. Like, simple human beings, and you say it first, like you say it perfectly, and it's one of the struggles that I go with, having to put black before everything, right? So I saw a post before and it said a white guy was like, oh, why does everybody have to be so proud, black owned, so proud of black owned and black this? And I'm like, shit, you're right. It sucks that we have to promote black owned to have pride in it. But that's because whenever we've had black owned shit, it was always stripped apart and taken away and downgraded and played, and you know what I'm saying? And then it brings me to even what you just said with LeBron. Everybody's like, oh, well, you're a millionaire, LeBron. You shouldn't have anything to say. Well, guess what, dickheads? One of my boys, Drews, brought this shit up a couple days ago. LeBron James was 17, 18 years old, growing up in Akron, Ohio, trying to transition to figure out, I'm doing this shit to make a better life, because if anybody knows, back in LeBron's day in Akron, even still in Akron, it's not one of the better towns. So I'm like, shit, man. Don't tear down LeBron, because he knows how he knows how he hasn't had to live it in a while. And I respect him for saying, look, I haven't had to deal with this. I need to figure out what's going up and what's up to terms. And then, you know what I mean, go from there. So it's just like, it's a big old loophole. But
don't forget, too, LeBron was also transitioning into manhood.
Exactly.
I mean,
taking
he was
care
a
of
child.
A child.
Who, and I'll say this, you know, somebody said to me this recently, you know, it sniffed a little bit racist, but he didn't mean it in this way.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know, there seemed to be a lot of people that wanted LeBron James to fail and to be just a typical black athlete, you know, think of one like Warren Cromartie, you know, 9 kids with 7 women or whatever it is. This guy's never had a scandal. This guy's never been known to cheat on his wife. He's a great father. He's a philanthropist. He's putting apparently like 500 kids through, you know, college.
He has a school.
I mean, here's the thing about LeBron James, right? There's a lot of people, man. You could look at Donald Trump and Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton, and you could be like, well, how dare they tell me when you know all the dirty secrets of these people. No one wants to be lectured by Michael Irvin or Mike Vick, okay? Nobody wants that. Nope. No one's going to take fathering lessons from Warren Cromartie Jr. You're not doing it.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
But when LeBron James, the biggest superstar athlete on the planet, again, a guy I can't stand on the basketball court, but he is, and I admit it.
Yep.
This guy's done everything right. There's never been a hint of him misbehaving or being a troublemaker. The biggest accusation against him has been over the last 4 or 5 years that he's too involved in ownership and that he calls all the shots. But his teams have gone to 9 straight championships, so I don't know. Maybe he knows something. You also talked about him and his boys from Akron and bringing the whole crew, keeping that group with him. And they formed a huge business, and they're all multimillionaires now.
Yeah.
It's about ownership. It's about black business ownership.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, too. You know, we still live in a country where, you know, it's the first black mayor, the first black governor. That shit still happens on the regular. First African-American woman, right? First Asian African-American woman. Talking about Kamala Harris. Every day there's like some new first. And I still hear white people that are like, well, big deal. And it's like, it's 20. This isn't an indictment of black people. This is an indictment of the friggin' system, and this is what everybody's pissed off about.
And it's sad that we have to have these first. And if you don't,
there'll be a time in the future where a black senator won't be a thing. It'll be a thing. It won't be something where people are like, ooh. I was going to say issue, and I don't want to use that word either. No, it's not an issue, right? But that we're going to come into those situations where someday, you know, a 30-year-old Hispanic woman from the Bronx who was a bartender 3 years ago will be a congresswoman, and no one will think twice about that.
Exactly.
We're getting there.
We are.
It might not be for another 30 or 40. It might not be in our lifetime, but maybe in Donnie and Elliot's lifetime, maybe when they're kids.
And I'm just saying right now, if Donnie keeps on the track that he's on, and if these kids, because when I was down south, there's a lot for it to be down south. I saw a lot of mixed babies. 30 to 40 years.
It's not.
I don't know if it's going to be a race because everybody's going to be blended, and I foresee it because I don't know. Donnie's pulling more non-black girlfriends now than anything. So yeah, it's not the fucking kids. They don't give a damn that Donnie's black. Donnie's just a fucking little kid that loves to have fun. And Donnie's like, hey, I love all you girls because you girls give me fucking attention. So, hey, I'm all with the change. Let's keep it going. And then there was actually, there was something about LeBron that I wanted to bring up, but because I want to deep dive into it. So I'm going to save it for next episode. But it is a letter it's from a black man, a black father, that's pretty much saying, dear LeBron James, you do not speak for me. And this, I'm going to send it to you because we're going to deep dive into this. I didn't expect us to get like a LeBron thing because I don't like LeBron either. Like, this is the most LeBron's name has rolled off the tip of my tongue, and like I don't know how long. But and the good side of it, I really want us to deep dive into this because it pretty much says like black police need to be in the areas where black kids don't have fathers, and going into all that. Anyways, big ass letter blaming LeBron James for pretty much all his insecurities and him being scared of his own race and own color. So all you black guys that are scared to go on a north end of Hartford past 9 o'clock, that's your fault. Sorry. Culturize yourself, because guess what? You're just as scared as the white people that are too scared that haven't been around somewhere either. So I'll put y'all in the same boat.
I live 8 minutes from downtown Hartford.
But I'm sure you're not scared.
Nope.
But then again, I'm not scared. But if I don't need to be down there, I'm not going down there.
Funny, real quick, total side conversation here.
Shoot.
Again, my brother was here, and I haven't seen my brother.
I wish he would have stayed. Like, that would have been a dope guest.
He had to actually put his kids to bed, and I'm sure he's probably watching right now. So if he is, Tony, thank you. We had a great conversation.
Definitely.
And I'd love to get him on this show to talk to you because he's so interesting. He's like our buddy from the other show, except that my brother's not racist. He is very supportive of BLM and of LGBTQ.
Oh, so we can have a civil conversation.
He doesn't understand why Americans look at Republican or Democrat before they look at human being, fellow American.
See, that's crazy.
So he's a real libertarian, I guess you could say, but
modern day libertarian.
Literally, abortion, yeah, sure, whatever you want, it's your thing. But as far as and another thing we talked about too was business deregulation, and how bad that is, because people like to point to Henry Ford, the great innovator who came up with the 40-hour work week and lunch breaks and overtime pay and the conveyor belt to make life easier. There hasn't been a Henry Ford since Henry Ford. You're not going to find another old white business owner who's like, you know what? I'd like to make my employees' life better. They don't think like that anymore. That's why we have to put in regulations, and it's a shame. And it's why capitalism doesn't work. And it's why democratic socialism is the solution. And the funny thing we talked about was, because I could see the V in his mouth starting to form, and I was like, no one's talking about Venezuela. And for anybody who's confused, in Venezuela, they have a dictatorship.
Yes.
Okay? So by definition, there's nothing else. They call it socialism because when you have a dictator as a leader, you get what you get, and if you complain, they just kill you. That's not what we're talking about when we say democratic socialism. Think the post office, the police, shared expenses, things that we all share and enjoy together. That's democratic socialism. It's where everybody gets their piece of the pie. It's where no one's making minimum wage. Everybody's making a living wage. That's what we're talking about. And if that makes you think of Venezuela, well, you're an idiot. Think of Norway and Finland and all of those countries, the ones that Nick Cannon hates. Those countries are healthier, wealthier, prettier, in better shape. And have an overall better quality of life.
Yes.
They beat COVID in like 2 months, and they're like living life again.
Hey, and meanwhile,
that's what we want in this country. And do you know why? Because it fucking works.
That's it.
It works for everybody.
Unfortunately,
they don't have black people there, so we haven't quite seen it all in play. But I think in theory, it could work.
I think it could too, and I would love. I think that's also bullshit, right? Just because my parents decided to fucking make love under the mulberry tree in the US of A, why should I have to be tied down to you for 18 after my 18 years? I should be able to sit there and say, you know what, at 18 years old, let me go see what the fuck else is out there. Just because they had me on this piece of land, I didn't agree I didn't accept the terms and conditions. Yep. I just fucking popped out. So I think that's another thing. I think the world could actually benefit from some shit like that. Cool. Treat it like the fucking stock. You want to go over here? These are your worries. You want to go over here? Cool. Figure it out by whatever time, by 25 or whenever you're settled. Then you claim your citizenship. What if I didn't want to be a citizen in the United States? Because guess what? If I was a kid now, if I was 15, 16, 17 years old, I'd probably be like, fuck this. How and when the fuck can I get the fuck out of here? There's so many other fucking countries. They're like, oh, if you love Canada, go over there. And if you like high taxes, well, guess what? If I got conditioned to paying high taxes, to seeing the fucking benefits and shit like that, so what? I can't go down the street and say nigga. So what? Oh, well. I'll sacrifice that to be able to not have to worry about a high ass fucking health bill just because I did, you know what I mean? Just because I broke my fucking arm and it's a fucking shuffle of whoever puts the highest bid into it. No, there's some, you know what I'm saying? Just the same way we can make our own decision where we want to go to school. I didn't choose to be here. Let me go somewhere else. And I'm
Finland has a monthly stipend of $2,300 a month to every citizen for food and shelter, free medicine, so you have free health care.
Huh?
The money that you earn is so you can buy cool shit.
Really?
It's not so you're paying your mortgage. It's not for that. It's not so you're paying for food and your basics. They give you that. It's a human fucking right in Finland to get health care and shelter and food. Imagine that.
Business? It's not a business?
It's a nice transaction.
Damn,
what you provide for the city, right? You can free education there. Everybody's smart. There's no shitty people in the workforce. Everybody's educated and wealthy. No one's living in poverty, so there's not a lot of crime because why would there be?
Why would there be? Like this?
You know? When you're not, listen, and I look, anybody could look at the statistics, so don't be stupid here. Look it up. Look at places where they have high poverty rates, and then look at the correlating crime rate in that area.
Yeah.
And you'll see that they're on par. And then you go look at somewhere where the poverty rate is low, and you'll see the crime rate is low. When you educate people and people aren't struggling for food and to have somewhere to live, you're less likely to commit crime. And when you have free education, you got a better workforce of people to hire.
Say it again. Say it again.
It is to every single person's benefit. If you're afraid that black people are coming to the suburbs, give them a free education. And then when they get to the suburbs, they won't want your shit.
They'll want their own shit. Guess what?
You see what I'm saying? If you level the playing field, and if people aren't struggling, you're going to eliminate crime in such an amazing way. You'll also see less people joining gangs. Because, again, people are basically joining gangs because they have no family or opportunity other than these gangsters they see getting paid.
No.
If they didn't have to worry about money, they wouldn't idolize those guys.
And
they'd be set.
So imagine if, and I had this in a post too, imagine if instead of the public school systems, they taught all this, instead of teaching all this bullshit history and shit that doesn't matter, they actually taught like socioeconomics and actually like how to build generational wealth and shit like that. So like I come across this, right? I was talking to somebody in Atlanta, investor dude that I had met, right? And he was like, yo, so what did you tell, what did they teach you in school? In public school? I was like, damn, I kind of felt that one. It felt like he kind of jabbed it. And he said, yeah, I meant that in a certain way. He goes, yeah, in private school, they taught me about like stock and options and all this shit in like 10th grade. I just blew it off because I wanted to like be a rapper and all this other dumb shit. And I said, wow. I said, these guys had like their parents paid for them to learn this shit, to learn generational wealth and learn how to succeed. And all he cared about was learning a fucking Biggie and Tupac song and how to dress like the ghetto and everything else. But like, here we are trying to figure out how to fucking get wealth. And we're just being taught the basics of just how to get by and pass a score. Just how, you know what I mean? Just the mechanics of how to pass a score, where these guys are getting the knowledge and getting the education the right way or getting a specific education. So like, imagine if we were getting that growing up and that level, that playing field would be, imagine if the dope dealers, instead of playing in the streets, they learn how to play in the fucking market. And I realized this, right? So I've been in my little financial journey, and I've been teaching myself and getting educated, right? So I look at these, I'm like, damn. I'm looking at this culture. I'll say this culture, and this culture saying, this is how you do this kind of stuff, and da 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 da. And then I'm learning from my culture, and they're teaching the same shit, but their returns are fucking crazy. And I'm like, damn, every time we get into some shit, we just elevate it because we learn how to, and they learn the game. So what I mean is, I guess, let me see if I can break it down this way. So one of my favorite guys, he's called Wall Street Trapper, and I'm giving you guys free game, and this is where I'm learning. So if anybody of my element or anybody that, matter of fact, just doesn't understand the market and how to actually build this and how to play long-term, short-term investing, go ahead and look up one of the guys. I'm not a fucking financial advisor or anything like that, disclaimer, but these are the guys I'm learning from, right? So one of the guys, Wall Street Trapper, right? Not saying that I was in the streets, but I know how to break stuff down, or I have an idea of shit. So this guy did 14 years doing the dope game. One of his cellmates was in the fucking blue collar game. He learned that my cellmate made 2.5 million, only had to pay 500,000, and did 2.5 years. I got hit up with 2 bricks, and I'm looking at 14 years. I'm playing the wrong fucking game. And they're teaching us and allowing us to keep playing this fucking game. They want us to keep playing this game. So he learned the other game. So now what I'm saying is he's been, because of his street knowledge, he's been able to flip that into market knowledge and see gains and excels, being able to break down. Imagine being able to break down a business the same way you break down a brick in the street. That knowledge, and times that by 1,000. So whenever we get our hands on shit, now I see, like, when black people touch some shit, it's fucking gold, because we've learned how to. You gave us fucking pig intestines and everything else like that. We turn that shit into bacon and chitlins and make that shit fucking good as hell. We learn how to flip that shit. Chitlins smell disgusting, but goddamn it, the first time I tried it, and my grandmother flipped some shit and put some hot sauce and some other shit, that shit was gold. So I get it. I kind of feel like they're scared, and it's still in the background. Like, as we start to grow, like, the potential, this is a new black renaissance, like the potential. And now that we have the growth, now that we have the technology, and now that we actually don't have those same things always holding us down, we're actually pushing for growth. If we could actually unify, I think a lot of people see it now as, oh my God, they're gonna take over. No, we want people at our cookout. And that's the difference. If we grow, we want everybody to grow. Whereas on the other side, when they were growing, they didn't want us to grow. They kept trying to just feed us scraps. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know. We've been on this this weekly recap a little bit.
This has been the longest weekly recap in history without actually talking about anything that happened in the last week.
But this is why I love this shit. Like, this is when it's my shit, I can do this kind of shit.
Absolutely, so, you can. There will be no one to tell you can't.
But at the same time, it's not like we're just rambling. We're actually speaking good stuff. So, and I think that's why a lot of people like us. But yeah, so with that being said, continue. I think I'm gonna have to incorporate that into a segment. Just how to continue growing wealth. Oh, what I was saying. So Wall Street Trapper, he has that good knowledge. Go check him out on YouTube. He's able to show, if you're ever trying to figure out how to get into it, he's a good guy to learn from. I'll throw some other gems, and I think I want to make this kind of like part of my segment, because I feel like even though I'm growing, I feel like a lot of people are scared and they don't just have like a good entry. So maybe some way, as I learn, I don't want to seem like I'm the know-all be-all, because I don't know shit. I'm trying to figure out. I just got ate up by the wolves in the options market today, playing around with Walmart. So like, I'm still learning. Took a big ass loss on that, and I'm like, it hurt. But anyways, so yeah, we're gonna keep going on that and growing on wealth. But there's couple other topics we'll run through real quick. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special. Can't wait for that. That was just okay today. I guess it's actually going to be just kind of a follow-up. And anybody that's unfamiliar with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I don't know who the hell you are. You're like been living under a rock. I know 80-year-olds that know this. Shout out to the real Aunt Viv.
Yeah, I was
dark
gonna say,
skin.
Aunt Viv's dead, right? She passed?
No, Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil.
Wait a minute. Uncle Phil's the one that
Uncle
died?
Phil, yes. Uncle Phil. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Who's this?
So that is the okay. So remember, I sent the pictures, and I said one of them says first, and I think I put the dark Aunt first, right? So let's talk about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, this is gonna be a long episode. I hope you guys are buckled in, right? So Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We'll stick with this one, right? Dark skin Aunt Viv. She was the original she was the original Aunt Viv. Everybody that sees the man to the right of Will Smith, that is Quincy Jones. Excuse me. I don't know if it was actually Quincy Jones' his idea to get rid of Aunt Viv, the dark-skinned Aunt Viv, but apparently, rumor has it, it was the networks once again feeling that Aunt Viv should have been lighter because Will was lighter, Carlton was lighter, the sister was lighter. It just played into the lighter atmosphere.
Jeffrey, the Help. Was the dark-skinned black guy.
Yes.
So that's the perfect stereotype for a dark-skinned black guy. How absolutely disgusting. Nice job, Fresh Prince.
So what they did was they switched it over. And honestly, you can look at YouTube and you can see it. Actually, let me look up her name because I feel bad. But if you look her up on YouTube, what is her name? I feel so bad. Janet Hubert. If you look her up, she played Aunt Viv seasons 1 through 3 as Aunt Viv, and then if you look her up, her story on YouTube, she tells it all of like her trials and tribulations and the change. But nonetheless, I don't want to take away from the Fresh Prince because of what the Fresh Prince added value as a young black man into the black culture. So I'm excited to see what Will Smith and them are cultivating. I think it's going to be a one episode, kind of like reminiscing, everybody kind of just bring together on HBO. So if you have HBO, definitely look out for that. Yeah. So the next thing I want to get on, I think we had talked about earlier. I know we've definitely mentioned it a couple of times. So teachers are starting to get fired for OnlyFans.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Really?
And I'm so mad. Teachers are getting fired for OnlyFans, and what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Why? I didn't put any articles up there because I felt it would kind of be a little bit inappropriate. And right now, where I'm at in my relationship, the way my bank savings and checking account is set up, I don't think it'd be the smart move. Anybody that doesn't go get that reference, go check out Kevin Hart. That's a little Kevin Hart joke. But yeah, so teachers are getting fired for OnlyFans. There's a couple of them out there. If you do your Googles, Joe, where were these teachers when I was a kid? The teachers would be getting all of my monies, all of my subscriptions, all of my hard 11, whatever I was making as a kid.
Dude, I went to a Catholic school as a kid, parochial school, K through 9, where it's funny because, you talk about some of the stuff you learn in a private school. Math and science were not one of them.
We definitely were not one of those.
Yes. No. Barely a passing mention of those two things. But there were two teachers when I was in 6th grade that they hired, and it was the first time ever that they'd started to get away from nuns.
Okay.
And nuns got replaced by old women who had been nuns and then left the nunhood or whatever you call it.
To go start families and stuff.
All of a sudden, they started hiring like young, beautiful women. And I was 12. And oh my God. That's why you gotta talk. You gotta talk your kids through that stuff.
Exactly.
When that kind of thing happens. You know what I mean?
You got to have that.
Your kids like this is normal,
super normal. Like
I had this teacher. She was my English teacher. We rarely left our classroom except for we had double classrooms. So the 5th grade or 6th grade would go and do their English class. And this teacher, she was 23. I was 12, smoking hot. Oh, yes. And always short skirts and heels, and always the foot with the heel dangling off it.
Oh,
I was 12, dude.
Yeah,
like, killing me, lady.
Oh my God. You expect me to focus?
And I don't think any of my classmates yet were even interested in women. So it was there was no one I could even talk to. Like, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this?
I remember Miss Kelly. And Miss Kelly was older. Like, I can't remember what kind of car she had, but it was like something her license plate. And like, she was like, oh, if anybody can guess what my vanity plate is about, I give you a special prize. Well, in my head, the special prize was me and Miss Kelly kissing under the fucking tree because Miss Kelly was like 45 years old with a fat ass. And I'm sorry, God. Miss could have got it. Could have fucking got it. I don't give a damn. Fucking get it. But anyway, so yeah, I definitely feel you. So I definitely feel for the teachers. I don't feel like they should be getting fired because they are on an adult platform, paid for services. It's not like it's free. And even then, like, I guess there's something with OnlyFans now, the whole controversy because one of these Bella chicks or whatever these
Bella
famous
Thorne,
Bella Thorne.
Unfortunately, know that story, and I didn't mean to.
You know, I'm so for OnlyFans because like I'm jealous. I wish I could have an OnlyFans. I really wish Danielle would let me get an OnlyFans because I feel like I could be so lucrative and just this dumb shenanigans. Like I feel like it's a bonus thing, but you know, I don't know. But anyways, so like I'm so pro for it. I feel like where was OnlyFans when I was 18, 19 years old? So hey, Bella, I hope OnlyFans figures that out and like lets these sex workers get their money because hey, they can't go into strip clubs. Let them pop it open on their iPhone for some change, you know. Hey, I'm all for it. You guys got my vote. You guys got my support. And for all my guys that are looking for something to do, all my I shouldn't say older, but for my elders in the room, message me. I'll send you a couple links. I'll send you a couple links that my buddies passed my way. I promise you. You won't have to worry about the wife bothering you for a couple days. But oh man. Damn, I'm gonna have to like start like you guys are gonna have to start like giving some kind of like subscriptions or something. I'm gonna have to start an OnlyFans for I'll piss you off shortly because these episodes are going super long. We haven't even gotten to this shit yet. All right. We talked about fucking Georgia. Like Georgia's still on my mind, so I'm not gonna go into that. I guess we'll go into that's racist. And this is a very interesting one. It's a longer video, so I'm gonna like kind of just vocalize with it as it plays. This is just stupid. Like y'all watch this shit. I would like a black man can't even do his job, one of his multiple jobs, without one of you Karens, clown face idiots harassing us for being black trying to do a job. Let's see what Corella the bitch has to say.
Hey man, okay. So you're not gonna let me in to deliver this food. I have the number.
Yeah, we don't like pictures.
I mean, I'm just.
Don't point that shit at me.
I'm trying to.
Point that fucking.
I have food I have to deliver to somebody, man.
Don't deliver anything here. We don't want your delivery.
You're not.
We don't want
you didn't get the food.
I don't want you. I don't want you here.
I don't want you here
at all.
Like, who is she?
Excuse me, Paul. There's a woman like at the door. My name is Jordan. I'm working in place.
Who is this?
Excuse me. Can you back away from me, man?
No,
I'm not
this
even.
is my bill. I'm not gonna.
I'm just trying to.
Who is this? Who's on the speaker? Hello? Yeah, who's on the speaker?
Ma'am, can you?
Poor buddy just wants his food.
I live here in this building. Who is this?
Your food
Who is this?
This is Paul Morphus. I'm in 212. I'm getting a Postmates delivery.
A Postmate delivery in 212?
Yes, bitch, a Postmate delivery. Here!
Yeah, where do you live, sir?
I live in 95 Kelton Avenue.
You live in it, or you live... No.
You're not going to let me do my job.
I'm not letting this man in. Can I bring your food to you?
You're on the microphone.
I'm at the entrance
so you want to bring the...
I'm at the entrance to your building.
Who are you? Who is this?
I live here.
And so does he!
And I pay rent here.
So I do too.
You don't even own the building!
I'm asking you to get out of my building because
you don't own it. She rents it.
I'm a black man. I'm trying to deliver. My mom
I don't care if he's a purple man.
I'm working for my mom. Her name is Anna.
Yeah, I don't care.
My name is Jordan. I'm trying to deliver your food. She said she doesn't want me here. She doesn't want me near here. I just want to deliver your food.
I don't want him near here because I don't know him, and I don't want people buzzing him into my building.
I don't know how to do this for you, but
I don't want
she's
to
like
buzzing
in front of
him
the door.
into a
I can't do
building.
anything right now.
I don't know him. I know everybody in this building.
No,
He
you
doesn't
don't,
live
obviously.
here, and he's
You
not
don't
a
know the lady in
delivery
212.
boy. He has no
Delivery
car,
boy.
no bike, nothing.
The car
He
that
is
I
not
pulled up in, that white.
Domino's,
That's my
he's
white.
not Pizza Hut.
That's my white car over
He's
there.
not a
Oh, so now we're
delivery- he's not a
discriminating against who
delivery
can,
service.
what companies can
He
deliver.
didn't get out of a Lyft. He didn't get out of an Uber. He didn't get out of a car.
So you know Lyft, Uber, but you don't know
So a black
Postmates.
guy showed up
around who has a
to
ticket
rob
get into
people,
any
and he
building
brought
wants.
a bag of food.
Yes.
You got codes.
I mean,
As
what
he called
how
the
much of
person
a
that-
racist do you have to be?
Generation Z or X, whatever you are.
And then she blames the
You're
generation.
not getting in.
I'm not
You
getting
don't
it.
have a key, dude.
Yeah,
You're not going to get. I have a key.
I
That's
ju-
cool.
You can't. Don't
Can you
film
not
me.
touch me?
No, can you not
Oh, the
film me?
anger.
Okay, thank you. So I
Yeah,
can.
I'll be behind
Appreciate
you.
you.
I don't want you filming me.
What? Can you get away
Like
from
literally,
me?
this should be
No,
a
don't
crime.
phone.
This should
No, I
literally be
don't think-
harassment.
Lady,
That's
can you?
funny,
Because
phone.
you're getting.
Yeah?
You're getting close to me.
At
Can
least I
you?
made you laugh.
I mean, I guess this is really terrible. This is horrible.
hello?
And
Hi,
I'm sure,
Paul,
like,
did you
this
want me
guy's
to?
probably
excuse
gonna
me?
affect this guy's tip.
Do you want me to leave it down here for
I
you?
don't understand what's going on. Should I just come downstairs?
Please. Yeah, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Buzz 110.
No,
Yeah, Buzz 110.
not doing anything.
Buzz
I don't
Buzz,
know.
you're gonna harass me to ask me to do your
I'm-
I knew
favor.
how to buzz him. Buzz
Mother, I have this
110.
on just
I'm
so that
curious.
and if you do
wanna hear
something
music?
to me,
You don't want to hear music?
I just
Buzz
want it to
110.
be-
Here's
okay.
110. Pound.
I just want to document this.
110.
Just doing my
There.
job.
Let's
It's
see
one
if
of my
it
3
works.
jobs.
They took my name off.
Trying to
Did you know
deliver
that?
food.
They took my name off the directory. They used to have.
So you don't even live here.
I live here, asshole.
So then
I
why
lived
they-
here for
You
7
used to,
years,
but
and
they
I
took
don't
your
like
name
your
off?
fucking pig fuck phone either. Okay, how do I do this? Let's see. Press pound.
Alright, I'm gonna stop over here.
And this is what we have to deal with as a black American, as an African American in America.
Can you back
How old are
away
you?
from me?
27. You're my son.
I'm not
I'm
talking to
surprised
you.
more of
I'm
this
not gonna talk to
country's
you.
not on
That's
fire.
cool.
Yeah, good. This guy's a neighbor.
But-
I see him all the time.
That's great.
I've never seen you in my life.
Because I don't live here.
Look at somebody.
I can see you. I wasn't
No,
talking
your
to you.
phone's looking.
She's
at you.
trying
As
so
well.
hard not to use
As
the
well.
N-word.
Oh,
Just in
she's
case you should
so
call the
hard.
cops or
So
something
hard.
and tell
I
them
don't
one
know
thing.
that.
She wants to
It's
so
not
bad.
that.
How would you like me to
At this point, I wish she would. Like, just go ahead and just let it be
You
known.
carry a little phone around.
this-
You can't do anything.
What are you doing right now? Like, why are you I just don't understand. Like, you're crazy.
Okay,
Okay.
I have one too. You like Galaxy?
Nah, it's an Android. I don't fuck
Yeah,
with
I'll give it to you
Androids.
for free.
I don't
Paul?
fuck with Android, you broke bitch.
You know,
Here,
I know
Paul.
money.
Good for this guy, by the way.
No,
I mean, he
I'm
should be a cop.
No,
Boy,
he's
talk
not
about
gonna buzz you.
de-escalating a situation.
Yeah, just get your
Thank
food.
you, Paul. Have a good one. Sorry about that.
Now, why haven't I?
Just, oh my, the caucasity of this chick. The caucasity. And then we got attorney general saying that racism is not real in America. But meanwhile, this black man is trying to deliver a Postmates. He can't even be let in to deliver after he's been buzzed in, allowed in by the person. Oh man, America.
Well, there's so much wrong with that. I mean, she doesn't own a unit. You're a renter. Shut your mouth. You have no ownership at all in that, lady. What are you even talking about?
Oh my God.
How racist do you have to be to see a black person working? Working. Isn't that your argument that they're lazy? They don't work? The guy's at work and you're still pissed off. I don't understand that.
And I could even sit there, I'm just like, he literally said, I'm buzzing so-and-so in at this number. Here's the buzz. The person's talking to you. And then she's being racist to the person on the other end of the line. And poor Paul or whatever his name is white himself. And she's like, well, I don't want you in my building. You need to move out. You just hate everybody, ma'am.
Yeah, clearly.
So, you know what? Once again, if you guys feel like racism does not exist in America and you guys feel that, oh, we're the problem and we're pushing the racial agenda, sorry, you're the problem.
We could do a podcast just of original Karen racists, and we could probably put out about 300 episodes.
Continuously.
Yeah.
I think we would probably have a longer running season than Law and Order.
Yeah. It's amazing. Every week you send me more of these videos, and And a lot of them end up linking up to websites where there's like 100 more.
Exactly.
It's
That's
unbelievable.
I just have them in the talk. I literally say, what do I want for Yep, that's racist? Oh, this looks good. Because there's so many.
When Obama was elected, I really did think it was like post-racial America. I really did. I really thought like, okay, all right, yeah, we're like cool with that. Like,
We're getting somewhere,
there.
maybe.
And I thought, and my wife will tell you, we've had many jokes about this. When we first started dating, my thought was, I know there's still there'll always be racists, but small, not dicks. I just mean small number in general.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned in the last 10 years is there's not a small amount of racists. There's a lot of them. And here's the other thing, and I think this is super important. And again, I was talking to my brother about this, and I've told you this during the Obama administration as a Republican. I certainly was called racist on occasion. And my reaction was always, no, I'm definitely not a racist. I never freaked out. I never screamed. I didn't cry. I didn't lose my shit. I just said I'm not racist.
And that was
simple. It wasn't touching a nerve because I'm not.
You're not a racist.
So to be called a racist didn't bother me because I knew there was nothing to it. And so it occurs to me that, and my brother laughed when I said this to him, people who overreact and freak out when you call them a racist,
you're probably a racist.
Probably a racist. Yeah. If that flips you the fuck out that much, it's because someone's hitting the nerve.
Yeah.
I'm not a racist. Fuck you. What do you got? You're a racist.
It reminds me of
reaction
somebody
to being called a racist.
It reminds me of somebody. I used to use the word bigot. And I'm like, you are the spitting image because it flames you up that much. People sit there and say all the time, you're narcissistic. You're a racist yourself, Rob. Yeah, okay, probably so. But it doesn't bother me because I know that's not who I am genuinely. So you got to be able to look at yourself. And a lot of people don't like the ugly truth. A lot of people are scared of the ugly truth. And guess what? It would take it away if you actually opened your mindset and said, you know what? Shit, let me think about it and see. Because if more than one person is saying this about me, there's probably some kind of fucking truth to it. Just saying.
Well, I mean, if somebody calls you a racist, there might be a reason behind it, right?
Might be a reason. Or they feel some kind of sentiment towards it.
Well, I'll tell you this. Mostly I supported Mitt Romney in 2012. And my deciding factor, honest to God, was Russia. Mitt Romney felt Russia was a serious threat to this country, and it turned out to be true. And again, I liked Obama. I mean, I certainly didn't have a problem with Obama, but he ran up against John McCain, my favorite American of the last 50 years. And Mitt Romney at the time actually owned the company that owned iHeartMedia. So he was kind of my boss. So that helped. But yeah. I don't know.
This is different.
Just, basically I was told if you support racist policies, you're a racist. And I said, well, I don't support racist policies. I don't. It's a big part of the reason why I eventually left the Republican Party was because, to me, the dog whistles of 2008 by 2012, and it's obviously gotten worse now, but the dog whistles went a little further under Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, of course, famously said, no one will have to check my birth certificate because I'm white. I belong here.
Yep.
What about the guy from Kenya or Hawaii or wherever he's from? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Dog whistles. They got louder and louder, and I was like,
now they're barks.
Now they're bites.
Yeah.
Not interested. Can't get behind that. Sorry. And anybody who doesn't want to be called a racist, look around you. What are you supporting?
Exactly. What are you supporting?
By extension, that makes you a little bit racist.
Just a nice little thing.
Me personally, I was out.
That's
you're still in. Ask yourself why.
And we're going to get to that kind of shortly too. Like, if you're supporting those certain morals and values, I'm going to throw you into that same thing. I'm going to throw you into the same pit with those guys. But, and it kind of goes into, I wanted to at first throw this Kyle Rittenhouse kid into the yep, that's racist. And I had to kind of separate it. Because at first I want to say, yeah, that's kind of racist shit because it was during a BLM protest or riot, however you want to classify it. Not even gonna say riot because this shit is just, and you know what? Before I hit there, because that's gonna get really intense. I want to humble myself and show pride in myself and say that I do not have too much pride to say that I was a little bit wrong, or not wrong, but wrong emotionally for my reaction towards the Blake shooting. Even after the research and everything else like that, while I say my reaction was a little over the top, yes, but it was a reaction based towards the training and the process in which the events happened and transpired. There should have never been a reason for him to have made it to his vehicle, uncuffed, undetained, if the situations were true as they're coming out to be. Him being alleged racist, alleged stolen vehicle. And I say alleged just because I'm not somebody to throw accusations out there or throw, I'm not a judge or anything like that, or an officer. So I know my role as just a voice to say, hey, this is what presumably is going on. So I apologize for aggressively taking an uneducated, and I'll say an uneducated stance because I didn't know everything, all the facts didn't come out. So that did teach me to calm down. And usually I like to, but hey, we live when we learn. But guess what? The difference between me and you, some of you fuckheads, I can admit my wrongs and I can humble myself and sit there and say, I was fucked up, where you guys are just take it to the grave and still continue with your idiocracies and your ill harm and ill wishes. So with that being said, Kenosha, and I think I mispronounced Kenosha last week because I was super hot and agitated because still in America, it sucks being a fucking black man, and I still worry every day because, who knows what the fuck, especially may happen to me because I'm about that life and I'm with the shit. So anyways, Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm so glad that I've had some time to digest this, so I don't go off the fucking handle with this murderer. And yes, I'm going to call him a murderer because Tamir Rice was murdered because he was playing in his grandmother's backyard with a toy gun, and then he was murdered by the police. So yeah, it's not the same. Also, we'll even go further to, excuse me. I mean, shit, we can go to anybody. Breonna Taylor was murdered in her home house defending, as her boyfriend was defending from a no-knock warrant. So I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse, 17 years old, out of state, with an AR-15. Presumably, he is supposed to be so Blue Lives Matter, so pro-Trump. But what the real story is he's a troubled youth with a horrible background. He's a thug. He's a drug user, because we're going to title him right. We're not going to fucking sugarcoat this shit. We're going to classify him the same way they would with any other young black 17-year-old thug or gangster or somebody, as they would, in Chicago or New York or anywhere else, Hartford, New Haven.
Didn't this all start with Trayvon?
That's exactly where I was going to get to going there, because Trayvon Martin was a thug because he decided to fist fight fucking Georgie Porgy, which he's still fucking alive, which I don't fucking understand. But we're killing each other in these fucking streets and in Chicago and all these big cities, fucking fighting each other, but fucking anyways. So, but Trayvon Martin was a thug because he had on a hoodie. Trayvon Martin was a thug because he checked George Zimmerman, because George Zimmerman thought he was Billy Badass with a fucking pistol. So this is about to get real fucking hot and heavy because it's kind of weighing on both fences. So I want to clear the air first. Kyle Rittenhouse, he's a thug. He's an abuser. He's a drug user. And yes, he belongs in fucking jail. 17 years old with an AR-15. Guess what? Your mother should be in jail and charged too as well, because your mother accomplished you into the murder of these people. Now, I kind of start this. Was it self-defense? I don't know what the fuck was said before, what actions were done before. I'm just sure that people weren't. I'm a gambling man. I love sitting at the craps table. So me being a gambling man, if I were to bet on the situation, Kyle Rittenhouse was not the fucking glorified kid just walking down the street quiet with an AR-15. Pretty sure he was running his fucking mouth like he was in his fucking Snapchat videos a couple hours prior when they were sitting there painting the shit off of painting over Black Lives Matter shit and all that other stuff. So I'm sure he carried that same energy over, especially when he has a bunch of other thugs and drug users and abusers, because their records got pulled up too. And his mother doesn't have the best record either. So let's classify them all in the same right? We're not going to call them, saviors and pro-patriots and all that. No, that's not what the fuck they were there for.
It's a gang.
It's a gang. So this gang, right? So this gang member, right? 17 years old. Illegal. Because I was going to say, I know some states you can be 16 to have like a long rifle and shit like that. And I'm all for, because I love my guns and I love my laws because they protect my Second Amendment rights, right? So if he was of the age in his state, in that state, it could be a different story. But just sold based off of that, send his ass to jail, and this is lesson learned. Now, I will say this. His mother definitely should be locked under the jail too, because with responsibility of having a 17-year-old with a firearm comes the education and the responsibility of the parent to make sure that you trust that person 100,000% to carry that firearm, even if they're of legal age. I say that because guess what? My son is familiar with firearms. He hasn't touched one, but he can tell you certain pieces of a firearm because that's my due diligence. And she failed him because where was the mother even when this happened? So in the state of Wisconsin and the state of Illinois or Indiana, where he's from, you have to be 18 to legally carry. So at that point right there, you're breaking the law, right? And into the terms of the conservatives out there, right? If you have a gun, you should be shot. Why wasn't Kyle shot? First of all, let's bring it back. Why was Kyle there? Why was Kyle there? Kyle should have never been there in the first place with his mother at the age of 17. You are not an adult. And if you're supposed to be there, there was a curfew, right? If there was a curfew set in place, the mother failed the child, let the child go with an assault rifle on his own in the streets. Do we not see the issue here, America? But you guys are calling this dude a fucking patriot. Guess what? He would have never had to murder he would have never murdered those 3 people or 2 people that he murdered and injured a bunch of others if he was not allowed to have a firearm under the age and he had the proper training. And I'm pretty sure if he wasn't running his little bitch ass mouth a little bit prior to it. So a lot of people are going to say, well, Rob, what about the people that attacked him? You're right. Hey, idiots. If somebody has a fucking firearm, you don't bring a fucking knife to a gunfight.
Or a skateboard.
Or a skateboard, for that matter.
Unless you're using it to roll away from them.
You're not fucking Superman, people. Stop thinking that just because you have a mob of people that you can outdo somebody with a firearm. It's an assault rifle for a fucking reason. It's not meant to fucking tickle you in the stomach. That thing's meant to fucking kill you. You guys can keep playing around with these crazies and these lunatics with these illegal firearms. But apparently his mother had it legally, but transferred illegally. But even then, to the idiot, because there's a video out there of a guy who legally owned a firearm that just decided to pull it out in front of a fucking whole BLM movement. Either tool up or get the fuck away from these people. That's it. You can't fight fire without fire, idiots. Because guess what? If somebody that was legally able to conceal carry off fucking Kyle's head, as soon as he got up, you would have been in the fucking clear. Supposedly, allegedly. I'm not a fucking lawyer. But from what all the analysts and everybody else that fucking can make that decision say, that's where you have to learn your laws and start fighting the systems. But unfortunately, even as a black man, because for instance, right, I look at it as me. If I was a black man and protected myself in that instance and off Kyle's head, I would have been the black guy that murdered a 17-year-old that was trying to be self-defensive because he was being attacked, instead of protecting a mob from a 17-year-old thug let off with an assault rifle. Do we not see how that easily can be swapped? So even then, as a black man, so let's say if this happened in Connecticut, I'm legal. If I go to protect myself, I wouldn't have been able to walk away and say, hey, I protected myself. I just shot this young boy over, this white boy over here. I'd be on a fucking t-shirt. It'd be a fucking memorial right now in memory of Rob Benjamin right now, and fucking I'll pitch you off shortly.
This episode will be much different, Rob.
So it missed me with the bullshit for everybody that thinks this kid's a fucking hero. No, this is a kid that did some kid shit and fucked up a lot of fucking shit. Not trained, inappropriately handling a fucking rifle, an assault rifle with that. So this whole situation has things so fucked up that I've literally lost all just faith in humanity. Period.
I'm curious why mom's not in jail. And,
Me too.
And I'll explain it as simply as this, Rob. If you called me right now and you said you're strapped, you asked me to come pick you up because you got to go settle something up with somebody, and I drive you there, and you shoot them in the face, and then you get in my car, I drive you home, and I head home, and that person dies, you're charged with first-degree murder, and so am I.
So are you.
Because I'm the accomplice that drove your ass there. I produce 3 true crime podcasts. I'll just plug them real quick. Murders, Sticky Beak, and Crimes and Consequences. Really great podcast. Go to cmc.com. And so, I know my wife's a lawyer. I mean, I know how this stuff works. If you are an accessory to a first-degree murder, that's a felony. And even if you don't pull the trigger or get out of the car, you're still going to get charged with first-degree murder. So I'm confused why mom isn't in prison right now, because she should be. The other thing I would know, I'm assuming you know this, I just think you didn't mention it, the cops earlier on in the evening gave Kyle and his gang water.
Yeah.
And thanked them. And told them how much they appreciated them. I do want to disagree with you on something.
Okay.
I also support the Second Amendment. I don't want to victim blame those people.
Okay.
Over the last few years, I think we've been taught, and you see it in the military all the time, there's always going to be those amazing people that are going to charge the guy with the gun. And they're going to die. Mm-hmm. And we're always going to be thankful to those people because they're risking for the greater good. I don't think it's fair to put it on those stupid white Antifa idiots that ran at him with a skateboard. They were doing what they think is. I mean, the same reason those people are marching in the first place. They saw that. They were thinking of everybody else. They went for it. This kid's going to have a hard time arguing self-defense given the fact he shouldn't have been there, the fact that he was there. And here's the other thing. I mean, to me, you have to be a special kind of asshole to look at this kid, what he was doing there in the first place, to call him a hero. Again, you're valuing property that's covered by insurance. And fuck the insurance companies. What do you care?
Exactly.
They're making billions of dollars. They can fix everything we've broken quickly, and they'll still make profits this year. Don't worry about the insurance companies. You know who you should worry about? The marchers who are dead, or the one that nearly had his arm blown off, or all of the many black Americans killed unarmed, even the white people that have been killed by police. Let's not forget those people. Bullshit. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it loud and proud. I have a lot of cop friends, and you guys know I love you. Stop fucking killing people. Kill people who are trying to hurt you. I get it. If they pull something on you and you shoot them, I'm with you. Done. Okay? Fair enough. And 8 times in the back? Sorry, dude. 7 times in the back? I can't get behind that.
With children.
Shooting unarmed people, shooting Brianna through not only a door, there was another jackass who was shooting through the curtains. What are you even shooting at?
Don't even know.
Every one of those people should be in prison right now because they're murderers. And murderers go in the jails.
But
you could support the blue lives all you want, but the ones that kill people, no.
No. We're not.
No free pass for anybody. We all. This is the other problem with the Republicans. At the end of the day, you want different. They bitch and moan about gays and blacks and everybody. They want more. Everybody just wants the evil playing field, but you don't want that. You don't want that. You want it done your way.
Because they know.
I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry, but there's separate sets of rules for them. And for what they want everyone else to do.
It's always.
And if you want to tell me I'm wrong, explain Donald Trump. Explain how you explain that shit away on a daily basis. If you're being honest with yourself, if you care about law and order, if you care about the Constitution, and you support this guy, you're full of fucking crap.
And
you're full of it. You're full of it, and you know you're full of it. And
let's get right to the shit.
Talk out your ass all you want. You're full of shit.
Let's get right to the shit, talking about this guy.
And last thing, and I'll say this, Joe Biden's a fucking moron, but I'll tell you what, I was proud of him this week.
Okay.
I was proud of him. I was proud of Kamala, and I'll tell you why.
Why is that, Joe?
He gave a speech earlier this week, and she sort of reiterated the same point. If Joe Biden becomes the president, there's going to be riots in the streets. There's going to be left-wing gangs everywhere, setting fires and breaking shit. And COVID will be out of control and everyone will die. That's what Trump told us. And Biden was like, that's what's actually fucking happening in your fucking America, you piece of shit. That was the best thing I've ever heard Joe Biden say. And I'll tell you what, Joe Biden could have the rest of the way, and I'd still vote for that motherfucker over that piece of shit in the White House. And I'll tell you this, and this is why I love my brother, conservative or not, he doesn't believe in his heart that this guy is up to the code and standard that we've set for the United States president. That this guy's such a huge, giant, disgusting, classless piece of shit that he doesn't deserve to sit at the desk where Ronald Reagan and Dwight Eisenhower and FDR and Abraham Lincoln sat.
See, it's a man
because
those
with
guys
integrity. Were classy. And I'll tell you one other thing. For any asshole who wants to suggest, and I didn't vote for the guy, but you want to suggest that Obama was the one that stoked racial tensions in this country, and you want to point to Ferguson, I will tell you to fucking go on YouTube, look that shit up, and listen to what the President of the United States said. He was very clear that you got a right to be pissed off and angry. He and Eric Holder spent 3 days crafting their response to Ferguson. Because initially they wanted to respond as black men.
Oh, yeah.
And they stepped back and they were like, can't do it.
Nope.
Got to do the right thing because we're Americans. When Obama finally spoke, he told the people of Ferguson to stop burning shit down. Stop breaking your own shit. You're just making this worse. Stop going after the cops. Go home, take care of your shit, and fucking vote.
Exactly.
That's what Obama said.
And
I made my brother watch this speech earlier tonight. It was 2.5 minutes long. And I said, that's what a president says.
Exactly.
In a time of crisis.
Not bullshit and I'm not he's not wrong, or I'm not gonna say that he was in the bad spot. No, fucking speak the fucking truth, call it for what it is, hold all those people accountable, and keep it fucking pushing.
Rob, a lot of white people didn't like when Obama said that Trayvon Martin could be his son. Personalized it. He sort of put himself into it, and he regretted saying that. Only for that reason.
Because of the personalization to it.
My brother said to me tonight, I was pissed when Obama said that. But now that I'm a father, and I think back on it, I understand what he meant. And he was right.
Yeah.
And now my brother supports BLM.
See?
He recognizes we got to fix this shit. He's got 2 daughters. He doesn't want them to grow up in a world where this shit's all fucked up like this. And I don't either. And I know you don't.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
And I can't imagine why there's a motherfucking American, no matter what party you identify with, who could possibly be looking at this shit going on right now and thinking, how do we fix this? How do we find a solution that makes everybody happy? How do we come through this as Americans? People aren't thinking that way still.
I think the blinders are too far on, and once again, the dog bites are so much easier to just keep attacking instead of sitting there saying, and like you said, we've categorized it so much into fucking liberal and conservatives, we're not even seeing human beings. So like people are so worried about being, I'm a conservative, I have to be so pro-Trump, that they're setting the blinders to what's really fucking going on. So if you really, and that's why I'm like, wow, for your brother to be of the same view, it shows like, yeah, I can be Republican or I can have these certain views, but guess what? I can see that BLM, I can see the point that it's not just about the fucking movement. It's a true way of life that's just fucked up. So it's just like, hopefully more people just start opening their eyes and just seeing that it's not an attack. We're not trying to bring down the white man. We're not trying to fucking make ourselves more powerful. We're just trying to get up to par. You know,
I think people are, and Kamala said this, and I thought this was brilliant. She said to all the disenfranchised, women, minorities, LGBTQ, you're going to get a seat at the table in a Biden administration. Seat at the table. Do you understand what that means? Not you, the listeners. Do you understand what that means? Just want an equal voice.
That's it.
Just want to be able to weigh in on things. That's all anybody's asking for. And there's people that are like, no! What? When they ask and you say no enough times, they're going to burn shit down.
And you see what happens.
Figure it out.
I think I caught the ass end of it, but Ovi, you said it right. Respect, just genuine respect, if that's what you're referring to. Just people having genuine fucking respect. We are Americans, so it went away. But yeah, Ovi, thank you for watching, hanging in. No, you're good. So let's be Americans with and what this country's supposed to be. Live the freedom.
Well, look, I love what Ovi just said there about how about this? Respect. I mean,
respect,
what's my rule? I have a rule. Don't be an asshole.
You're an asshole.
If everybody just adopted the don't be an asshole rule, I feel like things would be so much better.
So much better. I agree.
You know, you're faced with 2 choices. Do I confront this black delivery guy and be an asshole? Or do I just let him do his job?
Just let him do his job.
And be a good person.
Maybe even hold the door for him.
Yeah.
You might get a thank you, ma'am. It's like the responses are endless. The outcomes, the gains are endless. You know,
wouldn't it be nice if she would have been like, hey, Paul, just so you know, the elevator on the left is quicker.
Exactly. Like, you
that
know,
would have been a nice video.
That would have been some dope shit, you know.
Paul, let me hold the door while you carry that bag of food in. I'm
know,
sure the lady in 212's starving.
Exactly.
And you've got places to be, sir.
Or, hey, how about Paul? I'm going to stand here at the door and hold your food. And this man can go on about his day. And I know he has a bunch of other orders. Maybe we can get coffee sometime. I'm old. You're probably a little bit younger. You could probably help me out with some shit. You see where kindness gets you, fucking America? And this is one of my big pet peeves with Black America, too. Can we please stop looking at how do we expect each other to grow if we look at each other walking down the street? And I notice this. I noticed this in fucking Atlanta. Everybody says hi to everybody. I'm so sick of walking up and down the streets in fucking Connecticut, up north, and walking past a black man or a black person, and they just looked and don't say shit. What down south? Everybody, hey, hi, you feel friendly. We got to start fucking communicating, because guess what? I'll be honest. I see all the white people around saying hi to each other, but we just sit there and just look at each other and fucking discuss. That's the thing that we have to stop doing as a community. So I challenge everybody, not just black, white, whatever. If you see somebody this week, if you see him in public, just say hi.
Can I
and
tell
see
you a
where
quick
it gets
story?
You. Shoot, Joe. I love your stories.
12 years ago, I was walking into the Meriden Mall.
Okay.
With my wife. And as we walked towards the door, a black man came walking out. We were about 8 or 9 feet away from the door, and he stopped, and he held the door open. And my wife walked through first, and I looked at him, and I was like, oh, my God, thank you so much. Then I did a double take, and I was like, are you? It was Stuart Scott from ESPN, the late, great Stuart Scott. Great. I mean, I'll tell you this, Rob. This is, I kid you not.
Oh, it would be him.
I hold the door open for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere I go ever since that day happened.
That's awesome.
And sometimes people will rush when I hold the door open. And I always say, hey, no rush. I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly. See, one lady got mad at me because I held the door open. And I was just like, no, like, I'm sorry. You don't have to rush.
Weird these days about the door opening thing. I don't get that. You're either rude for not doing it, or you're looking to get something because you did it. I think that's a small minority of women that are taking things way too personally. But
she said
I don't.
Yeah, she had said she felt like I was rushing her, and I was like, no, I'm just holding the door. I opened the door, and you know how as you open the door, sometimes your body turns. I saw you out my peripheral, so I just stood there. And she's like, well, next time you don't have to hold it. I just felt rushed. I'm like, all right, lady. So people,
if you open the door and you were like, that would be fucked up.
Exactly.
And I would tell you not to hold the door for me in the future. But if you're just opening the door for me and you're just being a gentleman.
Exactly.
I don't, again, right? But I here's the thing. I think we've fallen so far away from respect and kindness, Rob.
Exactly.
That sometimes when you hold the door open for a pretty woman, she thinks you're like doing something creepy. And it's sad. It's sad that that's where we're at in America, that holding a door for somebody can be seen as being offensive.
Well, I'll add you one, because I guess now we can add pimping your coworkers to the table as well. I don't know if that's more gentlemanly like. So, like, gentlemanly like, I guess when I think of gentlemanly like, it would, if me and you were in a situation back in the days and I was like, hey, Joe, man, I got somebody. Her friend might be willing to, like, her friend's interesting. Do you guys want to take one for the team for each other? Like, that's some gentlemanship. But what if it's...
I did it once. Like,
me too.
I'm not going to share it here, but I'll tell you the story at some point. Yes.
Take one for the team. But would you do it? Would you ask a female to do it?
Never.
Would you ask one of the ladies?
Occur to me too.
One of our beautiful, talented women of the CMG network to take one for the team?
Rob, I'll give you one better.
Mm-hmm.
I told my wife when the Me Too movement happened, I said, I'll tell you right now, honey, I don't know how this shit's going to go, but I promise you, you will never hear anything about me. In my 23 years in the media business, I've worked with a lot of women. And one of the things, and I'll tell you this, I mean, again, I grew up conservative, and I mean, I'm very socially liberal on issues, but I'm personally conservative. It's the way I live my life. I'm just not trying to make you live my life like I live my life. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we've all been there, done that, but so I guess what I'm leading to is good old pimp named Trumpito. My man. And when I say that, I don't mean my man in a good way. If you guys fall on morals, if you guys actually like real talk, if you have a daughter, I don't see how you can vote for this asshole at this point. Like, I know, let's go ahead and get this out the way because I know some people are like, what about Joe? What about Joe Biden? Creepy Joe, Uncle Joe. Yo, yeah, he runs around sniffing people's hair and shit like that. But Trumpito's taking this pimping shit to a whole nother level. For y'all that don't know, it has been reported by Sarah Sanders, whoever doesn't know that name, that is Trump's former White House press secretary. She has stated, allegedly, and I say allegedly because I want to save my ass, because apparently whenever I post things about Trumpito and his wife and things that he does morally wrong, Facebook likes to fucking restrict me and put me on timeout. So anyways, allegedly, good old Trumpito suggested that Miss Sanders took one for the team while meeting with Kim Jong-un while they were in Korea doing their talks, or North Korea doing their talks. Now, apparently Kim Jong-un had eyed or batted an eye at former press secretary Sanders. And I guess
that could
Trump
be its own episode right there.
What about him batting an eye, or just him himself? Oh,
dude,
Jesus.
who watches the Trump contingency walk in and goes, Sarah Sanders, that's the one I want to talk to. Are you serious? Hope Hicks, move out of the way. No.
So, nasty Kim Jong-un wants to put his fucking egg roll. Oh, that was so bad. You guys are gonna kill me. Whatever. I don't care. You guys can kill me for it. Whatever. He wants to. Apparently, Trump said that too. Wants to stick it to Sanders, and Trumpito said, implied jokingly, the old creepy old way, fucking, these guys like to imply, I will leave. You should go back to Korea. No, he said, you're going back to Korea. You're going to take one for the team and pretty much be like the savior of America. So you're not even taking one for the team at this point. You're taking one for the whole country. Yeah. Like you're taking a body for how many billion people probably live in the United States? I don't know what the number is.
About 400 mil.
Okay, so 400 million people. You're gonna go ahead and please North Korea to save us from everything. And I'm sorry, but Trump was not joking. This is nothing he was joking about. And what pisses me off even further is that there's assholes out there that's still going to be like, oh, he was joking. No, that's some sick fucking distorted shit. Sick, twisted shit. And if you have a daughter, I don't care whether you're fucking Republican, Democratic, liberal, whatever the fuck you may be, black, white, purple, whatever, that could have been your daughter. He has a young lady there, so I'm sure if he did that to Sanders, what the fuck is he doing to her? And the same things and the things that he's suggesting to her. So everybody was wondering, oh, Sanders just leaving because she's going for somewhere. No, because he's putting her in sexually harassed situations with a foreign leader, a foreign enemy, if you want to put it that way, to sexually suggest to go sleep with him, to take one for the fucking team. But this is who you guys fucking believe in to be your fucking leader and your president to continuously go vote for? Mr. Grab you by the pussy? I'll tell you right now, Joe, and we were joking about it earlier, but it's not really a joke. If somebody were to sit there, if one of our female counterparts were to sit there and say some shit, oh, Joe wanted me to take one for the team for the deal, CMG would be no fucking longer. So for you guys though, and I know that there's some guys that would be like, oh, well, who we would have to see. No, fuck that. In this day and age with allegations like that, I know shit. When I was working in the business world, in the fucking military, a leader said that shit, he was done. He was out of here. No words and ifs, buts about it. Finito. And this hasn't even made mass news. I thought by the time we were going to air, this would be everywhere. And especially we have how many kids and women and girls being taken to the sex industry to be sex slaves. But this is what gets kind of just quietly said. And I see you, Ovi, and I know that lawsuit's waiting to come. I know that they're hoping that this shit fucking, he doesn't get this. So I hope people are starting to see that this is a nasty fucking man that you guys are trying to reelect into office. Imagine if that was your daughter working for his fucking campaign. And he sexually suggested that. You don't think I'd be up at the White House trying to knock some shit down? Fuck out of here. But this is who y'all fucking go for and agree with?
Well, funny, I saw them trumpeting out the sexual assault victim of Jacob Blake. Her sister came out and spoke out and was like, it's messed up that the Celtics and the Lakers are like postponing games in support of my sister's rapist. How would you feel? But again, they don't see the hypocritical stance they're taking when they do that. Donald Trump doesn't respect women. He doesn't respect gay people. He doesn't respect black people. He doesn't respect most people. And I think most of us already understand that. And I think most of his supporters understand that. And they sort of laugh and relish the fact that he doesn't respect people because they don't respect people anymore. The way that they've dehumanized illegal immigrants, they've turned liberalism into it's a mental disorder, apparently. Not wanting to be a racist fucking prick apparently is a racial, a mental disorder, according to Republicans. I mean, the same people who pray to a God every night, asking for good shit to happen the next day and then can't figure out why it's not. You're a fucking racist. And if there is a God, he thinks you're a piece of shit. Hate to say it, but probably true.
Very true. And I want to get to one of the comments. Ovi said, just towards the standards of when him as an equal opportunity leader, right? EOL, he said we would have to report it, and that dude would be gone. So that means if you are a leader, if you are anybody of that kind of stature, first sergeant, I've seen that. I've seen those first sergeants that made a quick hint. Those pants look kind of tight. Gone. She looked beautiful. Gone. That person's wife looked gone. So the moral compass of y'all are just fucked up. So no, I don't want that kind of I don't want anybody associated with me that's still going. And I'm going to say this right now. So for anybody that's listening, once again, if you're following me and you still plan on voting for this asshole, I don't care if you're my family, friends, whatever, this sexist, this Marxist. No, we're done. This is cut. My morals will not allow me. And I'm getting into, and even then, I'm getting into the market and all that. So like economic wise, money wise, you would think that I would be kind of starting to be more pro Trump. No, fuck that. My morals, no matter what I'm doing in life, my morals will not underride anything else I'm doing. Those are always going to take precedence. My values, my core values. And that's the thing. A lot of y'all are selling your souls to this fucking devil. And it shows. And it's disgusting. We're in a world full of sex trafficking, sex slavery, children. While I was in Georgia, there was a house that was found out. There was another house in Michigan. There was another house out west of children and women just being found. But y'all are still just hyping this dude. Like, where the fuck is y'all's moral compass at? Where does it stop? And yes, we can sit there and say, Creepy Joe sniffs hair. But everybody was fucking laughing when Bill Clinton and all those other creepy white and old black dudes were sitting there in the church at Aretha Franklin's fucking funeral, staring up and down at Ariana Grande. So fuck them too. But at least, I'm sorry. If I had to choose from the less of two evils, I'd rather fucking Joe get his ass knocked around and get his head knocked off by Kamala Harris for doing some fucking creepy shit than fucking the goody boys, Pence and Trump, trying to trick off their fucking co-workers and their staff. That's somebody's fucking daughter. That's somebody's fucking mother. Go ahead, Joe.
You ever watch Seinfeld?
A little bit. All
right. One of my favorite episodes of all time, George and Jerry are in a meeting, and that fella right there, basically his daughter was his assistant, and she was leaned over and had a nice
little
set.
Okay.
And George got caught looking. And here's the thing, guys. Just talking to the fellas for a minute. It's okay to check out women.
Yeah.
It is. Don't oogle. Don't get caught looking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do the head turn.
Do not
don't comment. Don't comment on their bodies. Don't comment on their outfit. Don't tell them to smile more. Don't tell them to put on more makeup. Don't tell them to take one for the team. That's for goddamn sure. It shouldn't be hard to respect women. If your impulse is to say something sort of brutish, reconsider. You don't have to say everything that pops into your head.
No.
You don't have to acknowledge anything that pops up at any time, and probably don't.
You probably shouldn't.
Again, it goes back to just respect, you know? Again, you want to look at the pretty girls? They're pretty. That's why we look at them. Do we stare at them until they feel like calling a cop? No. That's creepy. Treat people with respect.
Yeah. My grandmother used to tell me all the time, because she caught me at a very young age, breaking my neck, looking at all the beautiful girls walking around. She said, if you're going to look, take a mental picture and keep it moving. There's going to be plenty of them around. Guess what? There's plenty of them around.
Rob, when I was in second grade, I slapped the backside of my favorite seventh grader.
In second grade?
Second grade.
Oh, I wish I wish it was the 90s. I would give you a high five.
She turned around and slapped me across the face. And she said to me, don't ever touch a woman like that again.
There you go.
And I haven't.
There you go. Smart
I learned
man.
how to respect women that day because the sting and the shame of getting bitch slapped across the face was more than I could bear. Funny story, that woman in 2009 married Jessica and I.
Awesome. Did she tell the story at the wedding?
She did not. She actually forgot about the story. She was here a couple months ago on a visit, and I reminded her of that story, and she said, why didn't you tell me? I would have told that. I would have told that at the wedding. And I was like, well, that's exactly why I didn't tell you the story.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you, it had a lasting impression on me.
No.
Like what I started to say earlier when the Me Too movement came out, I told my wife, don't worry about it, because I will have never and would never disrespect a woman at work. I don't date women at work. Never have. I don't shit where I eat. I just think that's a bad idea. You know, I know one or two couples that met at work and got married. The other 1,000 broke up and people quit jobs. Okay?
Oh, God.
Bad idea.
It's so bad.
If you're her boss, she's not interested in you. And if she's pretending to be, it's because you're making her feel like she needs to. Cut that shit out. If she likes you, she'll let you know. Okay? And if it's real, it'll blossom.
Exactly.
Okay? I think men need to learn respect. And I think the biggest problem for a lot of men, especially the good Christian men, is the person that they're holding up as their role model doesn't respect women at all. And when the messaging is don't respect women, and he doesn't have to say it, people, he just does it every day in his actions and in the 20 rape accusations against him. Let's figure at least one of those is a true accusation. It would be hard to believe that 20 people would have the same exact story and modus operandi. Okay. Again, this just all boils down to respect. If you respect black people, then you don't think property is more important than black people, and you don't think Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. Okay. This is all really basic, simple shit. But the messaging on the right has been meant to dehumanize liberals, LGBTQ, minorities, and women. unless you agree with them, in which case they'll put you on they'll put you right behind Trump for the TV cameras. If you fit any one of those demographics and you want a fucking red hat, they'll pop you right there.
Yeah.
That's the reality of what we're living in right now. And the more Republicans I talk to who are wising up to some of this shit, who see the hypocrisy in what's going on. If you think Joe Biden's a creep and you don't think Donald Trump's a creep, I'm sorry to say, again,
you're a creep.
There's probably a reason.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
And hey, it's the proof is in the pudding, people. I don't know what else has to be like said or like done. Both people have showed you their colors. It's just, where do you progressively see yourself changing? Do you see yourself keep going down a shithole because this is his America? His America has crumbled. His America has crumbled. Not Biden's. His. So do you want to see somewhere where it can develop and grow and actually everybody can have a seat at the table? Or are we just going to keep letting the same old caucasity be at the same table? Let's grow, people. Let's grow. Let's put like-minded individuals. Not like-colored, like-minded. Like-minded individuals. And that's maybe where we can all get as a country, like-minded instead of like-colored. Let's really start taking the color away from things, because once again, I hate that I have to classify myself as black or African American or whatever, because dude, I've never been I've never been to have I been to Africa? Military journeys. No, I've never been to Africa. But even then, I have Africa descendants and everything else like that, and I'm proud of my African heritage, but I'm American. I was born at fucking Grace Hospital in Detroit, Michigan. So I'm fucking American, motherfuckers. Guess what? Accept me for who I am. That's the thing. America's a melting pot. It's not just white on top and everything else on the bottom.
Well, I hate to break this to everybody, yourself included.
Yep.
We're all from Africa.
Oh, well.
All of us. Literally, we're all fucking African Americans.
Yes, very
Some
true.
of us moved the fuck away from the equator and we got white.
White, yes.
Some of us hung around the equator, Rob. You're black. That's the fucking difference between us.
And there you have it, folks.
Everything else is the same.
I'm going to leave it at that, Mike.
Same
I'm leaving it at that.
Everything else is the same. It's that I have less pigment in my skin. You have more in your skin. There is virtually no other difference.
Right.
There is no other difference. Virtually or not virtually. There's literally no other difference.
We all believe the same. We all have the same bones when we all decay. Same thing. Same makeup.
You know why Asians squint? Literally, it's literally because of the positioning of the sun. It sets, where it sets.
It's not like
because the horizon's so bright, your eyes adjust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Asians are exactly the fucking same, except better at math. But otherwise, I'm just joking. Otherwise, the same. We're all the same.
But that goes to their education system. Hey, that's what they privy to. So guess what? You don't have to be You don't have to be Asian. Just go move over there because that's where they're fucking bomb at. Sorry, whatever. Hey, you had the perfect mic drop on that. I guess I'll end it with not end it with because we still got to go over my thing. But as far as Trumpito's a pimp. If you guys are rocking with the pimp, I can't fuck with you. I don't care who you are. If you rock with him, I hope he gets a chance to pimp out your child or daughter eventually, because that's just what you're agreeing to anyways. So yeah, really think about who you're voting for and really, let's see if we can make a change.
Can I just say one other thing too?
Of course.
I've been asking people to do themselves a favor, especially if you're a Republican right now. Listen to Joe Biden. Just listen to a speech, okay? A good one. Don't pick out the Hodge twins did a video of all the screw ups back to back. I mean, they're not even good editors, the fucking Hodge twins. Scumbags. But listen, watch a Joe Biden speech. Just and objectively, just listen to it. Don't think that he's creepy and you hate him. Just listen to it. Jeez. And when the speech is over, if there's literally shit he said that you totally disagree with, call me up. Call me.
You heard it.
Google my shit. You'll find my phone number. I'm not hiding. My phone number. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I'd be curious what it is that he said that you didn't like.
There you go. You guys have it.
That's my challenge to anybody. If you listen to the speech and you're like, bah, here's my, okay, I'd love to talk about it. I think if you actually heard what this guy had to say, I think if you actually listen to what Bernie Sanders had to say, I think if you listen to what AOC had to say straight out of their mouth, not what fucking Ben Prickface Shapiro told you, listen to that shit for yourself.
The full context, not just the clips either.
They tell us all the time, listen to a whole Trump speech. I have. He's a fucking asshole and didn't say anything fucking worthwhile. Most of the time, as a matter of fact, all he does is say words. Words with no meaning.
None.
Words that lead to no actions. This is a fucking con man, and you've been conned for 4. He's trying to get 4 more, and he's trying to play the fear card. Listen to Joe Biden. He doesn't want to defund the police. He's not a socialist. The socialism we're talking about is not fucking Venezuela. It's Finland and Sweden. Again, healthier, richer, but just
safer,
overall better quality of life. Okay? That's the shit we're talking about. Nobody's for rioting. Nobody's for looting. Obama wasn't for it. Biden's not for it. AOC's not for it. Bernie's not for it. Nobody wants to see America burning down. America's burning down because Donald Trump's an incompetent piece of shit. And if you haven't made that connection yet, November 3rd, just stay the fuck home. Just stay home.
Stay home.
You don't have to. Just stay home. And do the right thing by America. Stay home. All right? We'll catch you back in 2024. And then you can vote for whoever you want. But just stay fucking home this time. I don't want this shit fucked up any more than it is. And you motherfuckers are fucking it up, and I'm fucking done with it.
Oh, man. We're running scared of a country that we're already living in hell through. That's all I'm going to say.
By the way, my fucking man OV says you can hit him up, too, if you got some questions.
Boom! Sorry. Hey.
That's how we get down at CMG, motherfucker.
Fuck with us if you want to. Like I said, you can't stop shit that is just unstoppable. You know what I'm saying?
The other right side of history is all I would say to any white person who's watching this show defiantly and angrily right now. And the other right side of history, man, trust me when I tell you, we've been here before.
And if you don't believe us, and if you think that you can take me out, and if you think that you can, we're gonna shut him up. Guess what? You can't shut me up. And if you do shut me up by chance, I got 3 fucking white women that are 3 white women or 3 shows head by white women that fucking solve mystery murders on CMG that are bomb at it. So try them if you want to. Try, they'll be solving my fucking murder so goddamn fast you won't even be able to. And they do it. So try me if you want to, man.
Oh, and by the way, most
of these white girls are
lawyers.
good at it.
Most of them are lawyers too. So bring it.
Let's go. So try us at CMG if you want to. With that being said, I think Ovi had a really interesting comment about I saw it. Oh, we're the other ones running for president. As far as that, like, I'm so mad that Joe Jorgensen came in late to the party, even though I know she had some technical difficulties. But for those other parties, I hope this is a lesson. Do not wait. Do not wait so long. Like, I know that there are certain stipulations, but you can start fucking letting your voice be heard now. This is the time. Because guess what? After this election is done, there's a whole nother election after that. There's a whole nother election after that. And it's not just national. Start these other parties, your independent parties, start locally. That's how a lot of these other parties came about. Start that shit locally. Get your shit going then. And then let's go. 4 years from now, we don't have to worry about just Republicans and Democrats because we're done. This should be the last year of the bipartisanship. Honestly, this should be the last year. This should be the last year. So that's what I challenge. Like I challenge everybody to not just worry about this year's election. Guess what? There's an election 2 years from now, another election 2 years from now, another election 2 years from now. So it's just not going to stop. So start figuring out who you want to be next year for your local. Then another 2 years after that. So it's a revolving door. Get your fucking people involved. Get out there and vote. And if you're not going to get out there and vote on either side, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Don't go out there rioting. Don't go out there protesting. And also, if you've been out there rioting and protesting and then you feel like, oh, well, Biden and all them, they're the wrong answer, and you go voting for the other people who are not voting, shut the fuck up about protesting and rioting too, because you really don't give a fuck either. All right? So this is a good time for everybody to start looking deep down at themselves and giving themselves a real good self-check, ego check, however you want to look at yourself, and really see if you have the balls to sustain what the hell's about to happen in America in the next 4 years. Are you going to have the balls to fucking fight for your own or fight for change? Because that's what it's about to happen. You're either going to have to fight for yourself or you're going to have to fight for change. Make your choice, America.
That was intense.
Fucking 2 hours and 10 minutes. But y'all trying to shut me the fuck up. This is my shit. Who giving you two hours and 10 minutes? Nobody's giving y'all that shit. I'll piss you off shortly. It's here in full effect. Anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and end it off in what's in rotation for me. When I say what's in rotation this week, this shit has literally been in rotation for like the past 2.5 weeks for me. It's called How by Lil Baby off of his My Turn album recently. I believe he released it in February. That's how fucking long this shit's been out. And like, I want to say it's been that long, but anyways, he just redid the deluxe. But this song, How, I don't know. I'll say like I'm just getting new to Lil Baby, and like he's one of the newer rappers or whatever. But like this song is so dope, just his delivery, his story, and he's spitting truth. Like he's giving you investment game. He's one of those young kids that's like, yo, I fucked up. I shouldn't have been doing all this extra shit with my money. I've learned to really make my money work for me. I'm also enjoying these women, and just giving you just like all of his life learned lessons in this song. So How by Lil Baby, go check that out. It was a toss up between him and Snow Allegra, but I really have to be in a real calm tone because like I really love this Snow Allegra album. I've been listening to it for like the year and whatever since it's been out, but I really want to give that some shine, but I think I'll wait for a nice toned down episode. So that'll be in the next future episodes. But yeah, so if you guys get a chance, go listen to How by Lil Baby, My Turn Deluxe. You got anything you've been listening to, Joe?
I have not had a moment of spare time. I wish there were something that I could share with you guys, but I have been pretty much 12-hour days. Every now and again, I'll tap my pen against the desk just for a little entertainment for a few minutes, but that's pretty much been about it.
All right.
Yeah.
It's all good. When you're busy, that's a good thing, though. Busy, staying going. It could be dead down, you know. You couldn't be taking over. I should say you could be in a scenario where you're not just taking over the podcast game with 20-something plus shows. So, you know, everybody does, you know, counting? 26 who's counting, you know, and they're all bomb. I actually found myself a new show on the fucking network, a Steelers podcast. So like, I'm like, yo, I know I'm supposed to be like an Ovi. I know I owe you an episode. I got you, brother. I owe you an episode, and I'm going to have you on here as well one day. But like, not to short you guys, but there's a Steelers podcast on the CMG network that I saw that I'm just learning, and I'm super hype about that. So, like, check us out, ClovercrestMediaGroup.com, right?
Just
ClovercrestMedia.com,
yep.
Right? I'll pitch you off shortly, and then / all these other dope-ass podcasts. We're just represented completely in 100% just bucket of joy and culture and awareness. Like, you guys are missing out. Go ahead, Joe.
Dude, real quick.
What's up?
Because I think Ovi just officially announced it on his show. Ovi, can you just verify in the comments, I see the post on the website, next Tuesday night, next Tuesday night on the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. And I am so appreciative. Ovi asked me.
Put that up there. Put that up there.
Dude, yeah, this is incredible. We've booked Tito Santana.
Let's
former
go.
Intercontinental champion, multiple tag team champion back when it was the WWF. Mad props to OV for hooking that up.
Awesome.
Tito was my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid because I had hair just like this. That was kind of long. This is my apocalypse hair. I haven't had a haircut since February.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm just growing it out until I can get back into the real world, you know?
There you go.
I'm just curious how far that'll grow. But, yeah, man, Tito said just always, like, I don't know, it was something about him. I felt like that guy looked the most like me of any of the wrestlers. I love the way he fought. And next Tuesday night, man.
Hell yeah.
It's going down.
Well, congratulations to those guys, man. Ovi, congratulations. I'll definitely be plugged in. Make sure you guys are plugged in, man. See, we're bringing y'all heat over here at CMG, man. We're bringing y'all fucking heat. Making it happen, man. Well, nonetheless, I appreciate you guys. Every week, it just keeps getting longer and longer. I got you guys at 2 1/4. We got you guys there. I don't know. It just feels so natural now. I don't know, man. I love it. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Joe. I will say hands down, this has been, I know I give you your flowers all the time, but I continuously will because not everybody hasn't been able to give this platform to me. And you have been able to give it to me hands down. No holds barred. Let me just run with it. And I appreciate it. I know there's going to be naysayers. There's going to be bumps on the road, but like, you're amazing. Everybody at CMG, I can't be more thankful enough. So thank you guys so much just to support. And we're going to keep this shit going. You guys can't stop us, man. We're fucking, we're unstoppable. It seems
throwing down the gauntlet. I love
Let's go. Hey, I'm Rob Benjamin. This is Joe Aguirre. This has been I'll Piss You Off Shortly. Oh, by the way, we are now Mondays, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. live 9 p.m. We'll start releasing on Tuesday morning. So we're just switching from Tuesdays and Wednesdays to Mondays and Tuesdays. So audio will be released Tuesday, Monday live feed. And yeah, we'll be going from there. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'll piss you off shortly. Once again, I'm Rob Benjamin, Joe Aguirre. I'll piss you off shortly. You guys have a good night.
One day. I will get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast.